Introduce yourself for people watching.
My name is Tyrone Tate.
How old are you?
I'm 64 years old.
Where'd you grow up at?
I grew up in Los Angeles, Watts, South Central, Los Angeles, California.
Where was you born at?
I was born in Louisiana.
When did you come to California?
I came to California in 1958.
What was the racial makeup of the projects?
The racial makeup of the project then was all black.
And we're talking about Jordan Downs?
Talking about Jordan Downs.
So white flight had already happened before you came?
Yes, it did.
Where did you guys used to go outside the projects for fun?
It was the Rosecrans skating ring, Hollywood, and also we started skating clubs throughout the South Central, which was Jordan Downs, Imperial Courts, and the Nickerson.
Where did you guys go outside of Watts for fun when you were little kids?
Griffin Park, LA Zoo, Disneyland, horseback riding most of our time. We spent most of our time Kenny's Horse Stable, Rosecrans.
All right, can you tell me what clubs or gangs or black movements was going on in the 60s that you were familiar with?
Actually, the black movements that were basically were facilitating a lot of community activists in our area was the Horse Organization, one, Black Panthers, two, also the Sons of Watts.
Where was the U.S. organization located at?
We had the Black Panther in 1965. We had the Black Panthers on 103rd. We also had the Watts, Sons of Watts headquarters on 103rd, where we initiated, actually we were junior Sons of Watts. That's when the school lunches came out for the children as they get them, like they get them today. Breakfast they were able to eat, and also lunches they were able to take to school. All was posted right there on 103rd between Wilmington and Compton Avenue.
So us organization had an office in Watts?
No, us organization didn't have an office in Watts. They was somewhat on the outskirts, down further where the businessmen were. South Park, up that way.
Are you familiar with the spook hunters?
I heard of them.
How about the Watts farmers?
Yes, my uncle, Carl Darris, was the leader of Watts Farmers. Carl Darris and ND.
Did you happen to know George Jackson?
I didn't know him per se, but he sent a lot of messages down to the organizations to form certain community centers for the black youth, the teenagers, mothers that was without, mothers, and also tried to help facilitate communities so brothers could have jobs and stuff like that.
Have you heard of the Devil Hunters?
Yes, I've heard of the Devil Hunters as well, but we never came in contact with either.
Okay. I'm gonna ask you about two guys. Have you ever heard of Eric Caesar and Paco Lopez?
Paco Lopez is familiar. Eric Caesar is kind of vague.
Do you know anything about Watts Barrio Grape Street?
Yes, I'm familiar with Watts Barrio Grape Street. Watts Barrio Grape Street started with one of my homeboys. He was young, and he started Watts Barrio Grape Street on the back streets of Grape, Juniper, Garmin.
So they formed with blacks and Mexican members?
Yes, we had blacks and Mexican homeboys, which I'm familiar with a lot of them. We used to have breakfast at their house together, and we clicked. Yes, they did.
So do you know anything about who started them, when, or where?
Well, basically, Watts Barrio Grape Street came out right after we started. I started the Jordan Downs Crips JDC. It came out around about the time Mack Thomas, Cisco, started Compton Crip. Mack Thomas, rest in peace.
You know him well?
I knew him very well. We grew up together on 92nd and Juniper.
Was you around during the Watts ride?
Yeah, 1965, August the 15th. Yes, I was.
What was that like for you?
Well, it was one hell of an experience because for the simple fact is, during that movement and that incident behind the Deadwater case, actually a lot of people don't know, it wasn't just the blacks looting and stealing, it was also the police as well.
That's deep.
Yeah.
Are you familiar with the Green Jackets?
Yes, I am. Green Jackets began, if I'm not mistaken, I am correct, 67, between 67 and 68. Because I remember the oldies, we used to dance off of Me, Lil Johnny, Ray Boys, by Smokey Robinson at all the little parties and dances that we had.
Who started the Green Jackets?
Actually, the Green Jackets was formed with me, Tyrone Tate, Alfred Trotter, which is my uncle, and Ray Boyce. Rest in peace.
Okay, now Ray Boyce, was he in the project?
He was the Nickersons.
And you guys were in Jordan Downs?
We was neutral at that time, before the Crips even came in.
Now how did that work?
And Anthony Baylocks of the Imperial Courts.
Okay, so that's 3 different projects.
That's 3 different projects.
So was that one gang, or did each project had its own little clique?
No, it was one. We all wore green jackets, because I issued them out.
That's deep. What about Hacienda?
Hacienda was also a green jackets, because they always have been with the Nickersons. So they were green jackets as well, which was Rodney Bruce, Wendy Bruce as well. Rest in peace, good brothers.
Okay, why the Green Jackets and not the Grape Streets?
Because Grape Streets wasn't even thought of at that time.
Okay. I'm not talking about just the blacks, not the Grape Street Crips, the Watts Warrior Grapes.
No, they wasn't even really thought of at that time. At that time, they were the Mexican game they called them back there. The name of the company,
Colonial Watts?
Colonial Watts. It was all Colonial Watts. From Wigan on down to Wilmington.
After the 65 riots, did you guys attend the Watts Stax concerts?
Yes, we did.
And where was they generally located?
The Watts Stax concert was basically a fluctuating, it was one was at the sports arena, one was at Rear Rogers Park, and basically those are the 2 general areas that they were really introduced at, because in those areas you had more multitudes of gatherings of black in those particular areas. So they needed those areas and nowhere else.
Did the Pyrus and Crips attend the ones at Will Rogers Park?
Yes, Lorenzo Puddin, yes, I was there with them. Good brothers.
You know a lot of the legendary guys.
Yes, I do.
Yeah,
Good brothers. And also China Dog, Tam. China Dog is my cousin, known fierce Pyru from Luders Park. He's my cousin, blood cousin. Yeah, we all attend.
Is it true the Crips would start all the trouble at the concerts?
Well, that's where it happened at. When Tookie first made his reign, it was about taking leather coats, waistlines, I remember just as well. Then that's where it all started. That's when basically that's when the Crips emerged, and they start basically setting off in sections. Because you had one side, which was the west side, took it in, their whole mission was leather coats. They weren't trying to convert or nothing, just taking the coats. So they start Crips start sectioning off at that time. Everybody started basically their own hoods.
Okay, you knew Ray Boyce. What did you call him?
Rear, Lil Rear.
You gave him that name?
I gave him that name. I know all 6 of his boys, and I also know his wife, Helen.
Did you know Junior Thomas?
Yes, Tall Junior Thomas was my boy. Yes, he stayed on 112th off of Compton Avenue.
What about the Barker brothers?
Joe Barker was my boy.
Did you know
Gary Barker.
Did you know the Valentines?
Yes, I'm familiar with the Valentines as well.
Okay, so you know all those.
Oh yeah, stuttering Joe Barker. I loved him.
So when did you join the Crips?
I didn't join the Crips. I started the Crips.
Okay.
Yeah, I wasn't with nobody's organization. If I had to be with an organization, it was going to be mine, because this is my neighborhood, and I knew how I wanted for it to be. And between between Green Jackets, when that era was up from 67 to 72, we emerged with the JDCs, which is Jordan Downs Crips, me and Howard Funches, Malcolm Howard, Doug Newton, which was Huey Newton's nephew.
What about Pee Wee Dixon?
And Pee Wee Dixon. He was basically second in command. He was up under me.
Okay. So, like you said, around 72, around that time then. Like you said, in between the Green Jackets and the Crips, okay.
Yes.
Do you remember, no, was you there excuse me, let me start off. Did you go to any concerts at the Coliseum?
Yes, I went to one of the Watts Stax concerts that we had, and I went to another one where they broke out with the big fights. It was up there, West Side was up there again. We broke out with big fights up there with Mexicans. And then I went to another one. We had a fight up there with the Bloods. So they kind of alleviated having it was called the Funk Festivals.
Was you there in 1973 when the big melee happened?
Yes, I was there as well.
Do you recall what singer was on stage and called all the Crips up on stage with him?
If I'm not familiar, it was I don't know if it was Rick James. It's kind of vague on me too. I forgot who it was. It was James Brown, I think. James Brown. I believe it was James Brown.
Okay. Are you familiar with Barry White?
Yes, my mother. That's my mother's friend. He was over to the house all the time. Wow. He's from South Park.
Right. So
yeah.
He was a businessman or a baby businessman?
He was he was businessman.
Okay.
Yeah. We used to play dominoes in the park. We swing through there and we played dominoes. He was up there playing dominoes. Barry White.
Okay, when I was reading a newspaper article about that incident, Barry White was one of the singers there also.
Yeah, I was Barry White, James Brown, and other ones. I know it was Rick James was there as well, if I'm not mistaken. Rick James was there, Earth, Wind and Fire, yeah.
Was Crips considered one big gang, or was it fragmented into different sections or generations?
Well, the Crips started out as an organization. And there was one big organization, because we had a lot of things going on. It wasn't just gang banging. Some of us was in with it because we had clout for the money, was making money. For instance, the money that I turned over, I ordered a circus for the children in the projects to come in. We had in a circus, and I passed out. We had food. I passed out food, turkeys and stuff, and so I was well. Not only that, I was well protected even by the mothers and the adults over there when it came to the police, because it wasn't just about just cripping. We somewhat had an organization as opposed to Tookie. He had an organization when they gave him a job on Pine and Greenleaf over here running the boys' home.
Now, that was with Bob Simmons.
Bob Simmons, yes. So basically, and he created somewhat a small organization, which was profitable for him, but it wasn't good for the youth there. So we all had our own personal agendas, one way or the other. Yeah. After a while,
So did like you said, after a while, everybody had their own personal agenda. So I want to know about the meetings. Was there any meetings in Watts?
Yeah, if I can recall, we had a meeting in 19. Willie got killed. We had a brother named Willie and Ricky Silas.
Where was Ricky Silas from?
Ricky Silas from 92nd. He was at the projects, but he was off on that back streets, 92nd, in between Wilmington and Caramount. But he ran the projects with us, but he was back there with TJ and them from the liquor store, Ricky Silas. And police killed him. So when the police killed Ricky Silas, they tried to put it like some Bloods killed him. And we wasn't buying it because we had witnesses and told us how they killed him and who killed him. And I called the meeting with Tookie. I don't know if you ever heard of Mad Dog, Mad Bull, Q102, David. He came over. which is Moto's brother. They from over here off 103rd and Compton. Avalon. Tookie came, we brought his people. Mack Thomas came and brought his people. And so we had at least, back at Jordan High School, 5,000 Crip members. And we were going to execute something that had never been executed on because of Ricky's death. And need not I say anything, you know what I'm saying. And we would have paid a penalty behind it, but we didn't give a damn. That's when we came as a whole, as one that particular time. So police get wind to it. So they cut the locks back in Jordan High School. We had the whole football field covered with numbered Crips from all different parts of the city. So it was going to be something, it was something unheard of, and we was going to take care of it.